And welcome back to Healthcare Sucks. It's me, the burned out guy. I said in the last video I got the plumbing fixed, thank God. Now I can work on the studio because guess what? To get to the wall and tear out all this, I had to take all my junk and put it in the studio. Yeah, wonderful. Now I got to unload the studio and get it ready. All right, we're going to jump into this. I'm not even part one or part two in tonight. You guys can just jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Isn't that how the song goes? Am I supposed to get funky? Jump, 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 jump. Don't be a chump, chump. Yeah, all right. I'm too old for that shit, I guess. Bing! Naughty word number one for the night. I am so disappointed in you. You said the S word. Did he say the S word? Oh, I'm out of here. Sorry. He likes to make the scene every once in a while. He didn't even say nothing worthwhile tonight. I mean, geez. All right, so we're gonna jump into this, check it out, and then we'll comment on it. But bottom line is when you got car lines like we're seeing in the cities, and you got people that are not usually getting handout baskets and things like that, and it's coming to that already, and we haven't even hit serious yet, guys. This is just like the first speed bump when you're pulling into the mall. You know, boom. You got about a dozen more speed bumps before your ass goes around the circle and gets all the way back out. That's what I'm saying. Is not good. And we covered the desperation of looting in Italy. I'm gonna bring you some more of that. And New York and the crime waves are starting. This is exactly what remember we talked about this. And they're talking about releasing more people out of the penitentiary. You know, I hate to use the word deep state. And I'm probably going to get pulled or punished for this. But I kind of don't candy coat. Remember here, we try not to candy coat. Code wording is okay. I learned that from Marv, but I have a hard time with code wording sometimes because you know what? I just kind of want everybody to understand what kind of BS is going on. And I would say that word too, but that goes under the bad words. So, you know, I don't need to be a dirty mouth. Or do I? I'm joking. So, the thing is that things are just revving up with a little bit of strange and a whole lot of stupid. I mean, there are stupid. I know you guys. When you're out there, yeah, and you that went to Walmart the other day. Going to Walmart's like a circus in its own of stupidity. Just getting a parking spot and watch idiots fight over a closer parking spot. Just park your damn car and walk half of the distance, unless you're. And I've had disability parking things and all that. If you're really bad off, use them. If you can hop, skip, and jump, then hop, skip, and jump from the middle. Especially if it comes to arguing with somebody over it. I mean, my God. Um, so let's watch a little BP.
Guys, you're looking at an article this evening from Zero Hedge, and it's titled America's New Breadlines Are Growing. And guys, what did they expect when they shut down the economy? And you see the way the White House briefings are being held. Maybe we need to go another month, or maybe a couple months. We can't really say. And we see that they're almost forcing the doctors to doctor the numbers on the COVID deaths. But again, when you look at the reality, and we're going to look at a couple of bits of information in this article, compared to these highly paid members at the CDC and these other agencies, you know, they're not hurting. America's hurting. There's a report that came out on local radio in Super Talk in Jackson, Mississippi this morning. They said that 47% of Americans could not pay their rent this month. 47%. But the unemployment numbers are saying the same thing. Saying over the past month, the American economy has collapsed into a depression. Now mainstream will talk about this because they're
I had to get up to comment on that one, guys. Have we not here at Healthcare Sucks talked about depression? That's right. We know we're not candy coating. This is a full-fledged depression. And they've candy coated their way around that word, just like the other word. What was that? Let's see. Was it virus? Was it Wuhan? Or was it the P word? That dirty P word. Pandemic. Don't you hate it? Or at least tick you off? It does me. When the asses have to lie and candy. I mean, how many people? I know none of you believe their bull. You know what? I know you don't. But there's people that actually are gullible that believe these little stories and stuff. Not us.
trying to play it out for such a long period of time to where almost no one, without the help of the New World Luciferian doctrine, can survive as far as a normal status. It says over the past month again, the economy has collapsed into depression with the most significant unemployment spike in history. Now, they're talking about the Great Depression, all of the recessions. Now, this is a depression. Millions of people have just lost their jobs, and we've been documenting food bank networks across the country are becoming overwhelmed. We recently said that some food banks had seen an 8-fold increase in the number of people asking for food, as the pictures are unreal. The National Guard has been deployed to food banks in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Phoenix to make sure supply chains do not break down, which, if food shortages did materialize, it could lead to a social bomb triggering civil unrest. Now, guys, this civil unrest, and I want to thank all of you that have been here. I guess we've been going, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 years. But one of the topics I know at least a couple of times a year was what I called a tsunami that was going to cross this country, a tsunami of chaos, regardless of the cause. And many of you have listened, you've heeded, and you've prepared. And guys, I've been attacked, just in, no big deal, but I want to say this. In the comments on the recent videos, well, BP, how can you say the numbers are rigged now, and you telling us to buy supply food to prepare for something like this? By the time I'm finished with this article, I hope you realize how stupid that sounds, okay? Please wake up. But it says that this guy talking about it said, I've been in business for over 30 years and nothing compares to what we're seeing now. Not even when the steel mills closed down did we see increased demand like this. This is Sheila Christopher, director of Hunger Free Pennsylvania, which represents 18 food banks across 67 counties. It says today's food bank lines resemble bread lines from the 1930s. However, this time around, Americans are not standing around city blocks waiting for soup. They're sitting in mile-long traffic jams outside donation centers waiting for a care package. Now that...
And, with that being said, people should be really concerned. Number one, they're wasting a lot of gas. Number two, there's a lot of pollution going up in the air for those that are so concerned over those kind of things. And three, if you've got a car, even though some of these cars that he pictures here, look at that's a nice little well, it could be a Camaro or a Dodge, like Challenger and something like that. I mean, there's some really nice cars there. It's hard to tell, obviously. There's a pickup or two in there, for all fairness. But, people's cars can't, even new cars shouldn't be sitting in line for, and this line goes miles, guys, literally. I'd estimate that's at least a mile or two, give or take. And then you got this winding in and out and through neighborhoods and clogging up roads and everything else. This is the beginning. The beginning. And I want to tell you, I fought this, and I fought for us to have the stimulus and everything, all for one and one for all. But I'm going to tell you something straight out right now. Even when we get that money, it's not going to be enough for everybody. They're going to have to kick that down per month on top of any other monies we get. You know, if you're lucky enough to get with the unemployment, you get an additional $600 a week. From what I understand, quote me if when you get it, let me know. If you get your regular pay plus six, they said 600 more per month. So unless they're lying, which it wouldn't surprise me that they'd be lying to us. I mean, heaven no. And what you heard in the last video, if you caught it, is what I've been telling you all along. The banks and Wall Street got their money within a couple days. We still don't got our. So, we are being called deplorables. We are being called pieces of blank. We are the trash that they basically, if we didn't have invisible chains and paying taxes and doing the jobs they don't want to do, and when they make robots to replace us, we're done. I mean, there'll be a few jobs left that they want done, or, like Epstein to take advantage of young little girls in the Clintons. That'll get me pulled for sure, but I don't care. It's true. They were up to their necks in that. And by the way, with that real quick, I did some videos on that, and they pulled truckloads of tapes. Where are those tapes at? And then, he was like Jimmy Hoffa. He had something on everybody. People know what's going on. And then his girlfriend and his partner, they're not in jail. Why? I don't know. That one disgusts me. As much as other people who are breaking the law and not doing time. Like Comey and a bunch of those scumbag FBI and DOJ people that lied and lied. And whether you like him or not, Flynn paid the price. Flynn and Martha Stewart went down for doing the same crap that they're all doing. Maybe those guys are really unsung heroes. Maybe, yeah, they did lie or cheat a little bit, but they haven't lied or cheated better than anybody else. Martha Stewart did a little thingy. Yes, she made whatever she did. It was minute. And we know old Comey was up her behind over that. We know how treacherous and traitorous and unfair and scumbag as he is. And then you watch Congress, House, and Senate that knew the plague was coming, that diverted all their monies around. While you guys that had your 401ks, anybody who tried to move it couldn't, or got charged if they could even. And now you've lost where they got to keep their money. You think that, I know you guys know that's wrong. So I still urge you guys, just because we're told we may get a check, to call your congressman, your senator, and even the president. Keep on the phone hounding these people. Keep their lines packed. The more you hound these guys, the better off we are. I didn't get into it in the last video, but something he covered, Dave, was that WHO was talking about going door to door now and taking people out that had the virus, that was, you're home quarantining, but now they were talking about something about taking people to some other place. And then they went so far as to say children. That concerns the hell out of me. And according to Dave, and I believe he's probably right, unless they have a search warrant, they cannot enter your home. And I'm pretty sure that's correct. So if anybody comes to your home, just ignore it or tell them to go away or go get a search warrant. And actually, excuse me, I know that's correct because I'll share something with you in the future. I went through a little ordeal many years ago, and I invoked my rights like that. And so yes, you can make them. Now, they can kick in your door and come up with some hody-bodie thing. And if you get big attorney, it costs you $5 or $10,000, and you get another attorney after you win your acquittal, and that'll cost you another $5,000 at least. In another 5 or 6 years, you could prevail and win a lawsuit on top of it. You know why? Because I did. when they came after, they messed with yours truly. I fought back from day one. I didn't take it and roll over. And then I fought. I fought. And then once I won the one part, because they drummed up some false BS against me, and we'll go into it sometime. But anyway, it was stupid. I'll go through it with you guys so you understand. It's another whole story. And then I had to go because no attorneys, they give up their plea bargaining situation when they go after the state government people. You can't have that. I'll lose my plea bargaining chips. So I found one that didn't, and took several years, but I prevailed. But I don't recommend it for nobody. It was harsh. It's like walking on eggshells for 6 years, guys. Uh, Big chunk of my life was lost, honestly, guys. And then when I did get the money, about 90% of it went to attorneys because I had, one criminal attorney and 3 attorneys to sue their 11 attorneys. And again, I prevailed. But, when you have 3 attorneys and you're paying $250 an hour times that many years, it's a lot of money, guys. All right. I know I got a little off, but I thought I would share because you guys are good to me. And I just wanted you to know, who you're. When I tell you to stand your ground or do something, I'm not kidding, guys. I know it's tough, though. I do. Real quick before we watch the rest of this, I did tell you guys when the time comes. I've said it in the last few videos. The time's here. It's no longer a game. You need to make up your minds, food-wise, buying food now. I mean, most likely your rent's going to be postponed if you're lucky. I can't tell you guys, any one of you, what to do. But I know that not having food for you and your family is going to be harsh. Not having water, not having medicine, not having just necessities you need. So if you make it and you get this stimulus, or if you're on unemployment and you get these checks, go buy some stuff. I'm not kidding. And for those who are even considering bugging out, you're already a week or two past that. But, and again, I can't recommend anything. But if you are, you need to have a damn sure where you're going, what you're doing, in a good location, and know you can get there now. With them blocking different areas and borders and stuff. If I was going to bug out, I would be checking my routes, making calls. I would pretend to be somebody calling in and say, I noticed a bunch of strange license plates. Are you out there on certain such and such road blocking the border for those people to get by? Do your research, in other words, before you jump out there on the road. Um, Probably truckers. Truckers pretty good people. They might work with you on some of that. I would hope. I would think some. Um, I think it's time to watch the shoe. Let's watch Brother BP a little more. Oh, that was just me. I'm old.
It's going to last as long as they can afford to keep the vehicle and pay for the gas. Then it will become, like you're seeing on the left, the 1930s, and then these images now, Pennsylvania and Florida. The run on food banks was first documented on March 30th, 9 days ago. Drone footage captured a traffic jam of hungry Americans waiting to pick up food in Pennsylvania. Hundreds of cars wait to receive the food from the Greater Community Food Bank. Collection begins at noon. And this is a chart. This is coming from Piper Sandler. And it's a reminder to visualize how America went from the greatest economy ever to Greater Depression in just 1 month. Guys, look at this. Over 30% in unemployment. We had 24% unemployment in the Great Depression. In the 1981-82 recession, 10.8. In the 2008 bank bailout crisis, 9.9%. But look at this. Check it out. Now, this is an image from a South Florida food bank that measured miles long and rows of cars. The run of food banks will only increase as the depression worsens into April. That's what they want. Guys, in order to I don't know how much further past this point that we're seeing now. And in the top right image, it kind of looks like maybe a Walmart parking lot. I'm not sure. But as far as history goes, Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, guys, if you look it up, he, in World War II, he built the Japanese internment camps here after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and then was moved into the Walmart situation. And we've seen over the past several years, many Walmarts close and big fencing and razor wire and things like that. People talking about it, right? But now we're seeing this.
And not to interrupt Brother BP, what he's talking about is, if you don't know, I'll share with you and you can go look it up for yourselves. A lot of Walmarts are closed down, and mysteriously there's underground tunnel things and weird, strange stuff going on there. And there is, like he said, razor fence, barbed wire going up, and all sorts of strange things going in those Walmarts. Even across the roofs, and all kinds of cameras and high tech stuff going in on some of those. And the food at thought bottom line is FEMA camps. Like with what we're heading towards now, if you don't stand in line, or if they enact martial law at some point and you're a deplorable, you get hauled away over there and stuck in there. So, strange things again right now, guys. I don't know how many more times to say it. And I'm not the only one that's saying this. It just don't, this whole thing just don't feel like what it is. In addition to that, excuse me, I worked real hard in the sun. See, I got a little crispy today in between doing the plumbing and other things today. Um, uh, it's just very strange. It does feel like what brother Michael from Pastor Paul and Michael Council of Times talking about. And by the way, did another show. I'm gonna cover some of that in another video. We're gonna listen to out of his words, uh, because very smart guy. I've told you guys about him many times. Um, I choose my resources and my friends. I consider them to be my friends. I will hope they will consider me to be their friends. And you're my best friends, guys. We're Team 99. We're like strong as steel, man. We're titanium. We're not even that run of the mill steel. We're the real deal steel. That's right. And we are like white gold, man. Because we're good to each other. White gold is kind of cool. I like it. Don't have none of it. I guess you're here watching a deplorable. I love you guys, man. I'm just joking. I gotta joke with you once in a while, because what the hell? If you can't joke, you already got a fork in you. Ooh. Yeah, I'm kind of stiff. I worked my behind today.
How much longer will it be before it requires that prick of the finger, that DNA test? They're saying it's a sample to see if you have antibodies, right? They want to do it to everybody. So, first of all, that sucks, but the DNA collected would be incredible information, especially as some are saying. And if you were saying somewhere in the world, CERN, Silicon Valley, whatever, with the greatest quantum computer system, AI on the planet. And then when you create the image of the beast, then this DNA collection that can be handled in microseconds could quickly identify the Adamic bloodline or the Kenite bloodline. And you could be, especially with Albert Pike's lucid-fearing doctrine in place, you could be singled out pretty quick if you're not of that Kenite bloodline. And that is the satanic bloodline, by the way. But anyway, looking at these images, guys, should wake you up. Most of these cars are pretty nice cars. See this? All right, that means people in these food lines probably had a good job, hard working, trying to do the right thing. Now, a month into the game, and in some places longer, and we've talked about it forever. And the news even says it that a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck now, and now that's not happening. And so people with nice homes, nice cars that are working are in these food lines, and that will only last as long, even with cheap gas, as you have money to buy it, and as long as you have insurance on your car. Or
And what he was talking about the blood and the DNA and all that, we've covered that, guys, a little bit here and there. And if you go way back, I covered a lot of that too. You also might want to check Anthony Patch. That's Anthony Patch. I've been watching him for almost as long as BP. I mean, 8, 10 years, some ridiculous amount of time. Anthony Patch used to go and do a lot on what he was talking about, the quantum computers, CERN. And if you don't know what all that stuff is, you guys should check it out for yourselves because it's an endless road. And CERN, I can just tell you, I'm not going to candy coat it. There's something not right with that. Come on, guys. They spend that much money. The electromagnetics are messing with the Earth. Gates opening, and they flat out say they're trying to open a gate to another dimension or another evil world or some. Anyway, usually when you play with the Ouija boards and you play with demons and you play with bad things, I'm just not going to candy coat it. It comes back to haunt you because the big bad boogeyman comes out and bites your ass. Or you just have bad things going on in your life and you're like, why? You don't get it? Because there are such things, whether you believe it or not, as evil, bad spirits. And there is an Antichrist, whether you believe that or not, you know? And there's a whole lot of in between one and the other of bad things, guys. So you don't have to see these things to know they're out there. And when you turn your life around and you believe in the Lord, and you just give him a little thank you and prayer, say some prayers for me and from yourselves and for your family, your friends. And again, I will do an easy one. This is one of mine. It's just very simple. Oh, Heavenly Father, please give me your armor, your shield, and your weapons so I may protect myself, my family, serve you, and protect and help those who cannot help themselves. Amen. And my friends and my family out there, my tubers, please allow them to be protected and have the armor of the Lord and the shield and the weapons if need be. Thank you, Lord. Amen. It don't take a lot. I mean, you can spend a long time and you can get prayers out of books and other things, but God's there and he listens. You don't got to go to fancy churches, and I could go into that, but let's just say there's a lot of fooey hooey that goes on, and God doesn't care whether you're dirt poor or you're rich, as long as you have a good soul and a good heart and you want to do good or better. We all go down those roads when life is tough and life is hard, and we've maybe done things in the past, but we grow up and we move on and we try to better our lives and ourselves and our surroundings. And we stop being mean. We stop hating. The hatred's really bad out there. It's going to get worse, guys. Desperation's going to get worse. You don't let things and the situations take advantage of you. Even if you're a super nice person right now, you have to have your shields up a little bit, guys, because things are going to get tough. There's going to be some bad people. I'll give you this is a nothing example, but we all know about meth. I call it the plague. I'm talking about methamphetamines and tweakers. The people that go around looking like zombies that will rip off their grandmothers, their mothers, their friends, their neighbors just for another hit of the dope. Um, it is. It goes back to the Nazis. That's how evil that crap is. And it's even said that the Japanese uh, suicide bombers and suicide kamikaze guys were like, took some of that too. Makes sense. I mean, big old blast of that crazy stuff, and you're like, yeah, blah. Whatever. But the bottom line is, it's some bad stuff, and you know those people will hurt. They don't care. They have one thing on their mind, and the reason I kind of brought that up is when you're desperate for anything, drugs, food, money, booze, whatever it is, people do just cruel and then, hateful and mean things to get there. And as this goes on, because it's already starting, you're going to see people try to take advantage of you, try to steal from you or your neighbors. Um, we watch out for each other out here in my neighborhood. Um, we chased off a tweaker about 3:30 in the night last night. My neighbor popped it open and scared him off, and a few days before that, there was another one that I chased out of the area that was cruising real slow down the street. So I just went out there and took a walk to the mailbox with my shotgun to check the mail. See, when you live in the country, sometimes you want to take your best friend, your shotgun, and give him a little bit of air. And he likes to go out, or she, and check the mail with you. It's like your dog. Your dog likes to go out and check the mail too. And it's just kind of a friendly, like, clamp it, Beverly Hillbilly kind of thing, to where every once in a while, guns need a little breather space. And I'm not showing it or threatening anybody in any manner. We just walked out there to make sure what's up. Plus, you go out and check your mail. You never know out in the country. You never know in the city. There might be some creature or animal out there. You never know. Checking that mail is kind of dangerous sometimes. I think you guys are getting my drift. So we basically, where I live, is called a shotgun community. That's because everybody or every other neighbor has a shotgun. So we're watching out. Now, again, in the cities, there's different rules, different regulations. Um, it's a little late to go get a concealed weapons permit if you safely can operate a pistol or a rifle or whatever. Um, Again, I don't recommend you as a defensive item anything you cannot handle safely or you're not trained to use, because you could end up hurting yourself or somebody could take it away from you and use it on you. And that scenario could happen. So I think we covered a few things tonight. We even depth into the walking your pal out, checking the mail. Now, real quickly, most of you know this kind of stuff. You can cut little short sticks to put in your window to protect yourselves. It keeps them from opening the window, and they have to break the glass. That gives you an opportunity to get to your defensive item, whether it be a